Hey there, I'm JoeySooch. I hope you guys are doing fabulous today. Today we will be doing a YouTube movie review. No one has ever done a movie review before. I thought I'd do one from my perspective as a disability adult and like how accurate it shows the disability and hardships and such. So today we will be talking about the movie The Upside. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. Before you watch this video, you should watch it first, cause there will be some spoilers. With that being said, this movie doesn't have any wild twists or anything like that. It is just a story of a quadriplegic and an ex-con who decides to become a caregiver. We have Bryan Cranston, who plays a billionaire quadriplegic, where the only part of his body he can move is his neck up. We then have Kevin Hart, who plays an ex-con who is looking for signatures that he is looking for jobs, but wants to get rejected so he can show his parole officer that he's trying to get employment or whatever. So in the beginning of the movie, we have Bryan Cranston. Okay, they had different names in the movies, but I totally forgot. I could have totally googled it, but I felt it'd be easier if I just used their real name, cause I'm pretty sure you know who they are. So we got Cranston and his assistant interviewing for 24/7 care. He's a billionaire, so he can definitely afford to hire one of his own without going to an agency, and people would have rotating shifts. There are a lot of reasons why I'm talking about this scene. For one, his assistant is taking over the duties, like she's the one vetting them right to get the right fit for her boss. I guess he literally needs help with everything, but it seems like she is making the decision and he is in the background. In the scene, he's literally in the room, but where? In the background. She is placing his physical needs above everything else. All the candidates seem to be boring and more of this type of people. A lot of problems I see with disability people and whoever they are with is that they are limited by the people they are with. So let me put me into an example. If I have a caregiver who's more of a homebody, then I would become more of a homebody. I can say let's go to the park, and we go to the park. It won't be as enjoyable because the caregiver more like rather be at home. If the caregiver is more adventure seeking and more bold, then I'd be more likely to be on their wavelengths. We may not be able to do all the things as able-bodied people, but many things are possible. We may have to do things differently, but it is possible. If you get a nurse to an agency, they have to follow the rules of their agency. If you have a caretaker that is private, the rules are more relaxed and more like friends taking care of you versus somebody having you being their job. The dynamic is different. So we got the assistant, Nicole Kidman, vetting caregivers. Then we got Kevin Hart. He walks into the office and we're like, hey man, I just need John Hancock and go. I've been waiting for an hour, I need to see my son. He sees Cranston and Kidman the same, but he's more bold, but at the same time doesn't care in a good kind of way. Hart treats people in a friendly kind of manner where everyone else sees Cranston as a job and like not a human. Hart sees Cranston as a person and not his disability. They share similar senses of humor and wavelength. Hart seems more not afraid of him and seems more rigid in his responses. Another thing is Cranston is kind of lonely. He was in a tragic paragliding accident where he became a quadriplegic, and his wife died too. He had tons of money, but like isn't happy. He had lost a lot in his life, but can't fully recover. People are helping him in a physical kind of way, but he's just mentally just okay. He's mentally not okay when he's alone with his thoughts. So we got Hart, who is very different and has comebacks. Hart keeps him sharp and provides a new light in his life. Cranston offers him a job against Kidman's wishes. Cranston needs that person to bring him out of the darkness and unlock his limitations. Hart was the man. Hart was the least qualified out of all the candidates and next con, but Cranston was able to look past that. If Hart was not a good person, then he can get fired anyways. Cranston seems to be happier though. There is another scene where they are going through his cars in his garage. He has really expensive cars, but he needs to use his van to transport his wheelchair and such. Hart is like, nah man, you got these cars, let's enjoy them. So the next scene, they are both in the car enjoying them. I know it's a movie, but to carry dead weight from a wheelchair to a car and out again is a lot of heavy lifting and work. The point is that Cranston didn't think he could enjoy them, but Hart was like, nah, we're doing this. Hart was the man to bring him that experience. Many other people wouldn't even think of trying to put him in the car. Just go in a van and let's go. I also want to make it clear that it was possible with a private aid. An aid would even try. So much liability would go on a person, and whatever agency she or he works for would not be happy if something goes wrong. Another scene that was really subtle was that they were both in like a hot dog shop or someplace where they sold hot dogs. Hart puts his order in and the guy asks, what does he want? Hart goes, go and ask him. It happens pretty often with anybody in a wheelchair that like we can't talk or something if they are with a person. I don't think my mom even noticed at all, but my nurse friends definitely do. Somewhere in life it seems that people associate a wheelchair with mental retardation or slow learning or just not being normal in the head. I get it for me, like I look retarded because I can't move my body and such. My body is in a very weird predicament where it seems the brain is faulty wiring. Nobody thinks a disease like mine exists and so forth, and some just can't be mentally there, but the body is on a different planet. The way I see it that if there is something wrong with the body, then there has to be something wrong with the head too. There's people in wheelchairs that look absolutely normal, except they are in a wheelchair, and sometimes they aren't treated like a regular person too. It's something you have to accept, but like come on. There are no stats to back this up, but I personally think there are more people in wheelchairs who have mental slowness in some capacity than people who don't. I totally get why people treat each other. It makes sense. It's not great at times, but I get it. Another scene that was really subtle was they were both in like a hot dog shop or someplace where they sold hot dogs. Hart put his order through, and the guy asks what does he want. Hart goes, go and ask him. It happens pretty often with anybody in a wheelchair that was like we can't talk or something if they are with a person. I don't think my mom even noticed, but my nurse friend definitely did. Somewhere in life it seems that people associate a wheelchair with mental retardation or slow learning or just not being normal in the head. I get it for me, like I look retarded because I can't move my body and such. Like my body is in a very weird predicament where it seems the brain is false rewiring. The way I see it that if there's something wrong with the body, then there has to be something wrong with the head too. There's people in wheelchairs that look absolutely normal except they are in a wheelchair, and sometimes they aren't treated like a regular person too. It's something you just have to accept, but like come on, I totally get why people treat other people the way they do. It makes sense. It's not great at times, but I get it. The next scene I want to touch is Cranston's birthday. But he doesn't want anything. No surprise parties, nothing. Hart takes him out of the house, and when they come back, there's a surprise party waiting. Cranston hates it. He gets in a room alone with Kidman and Hart and yells at them. He's angry at a lot of things, but he's not in control of anything, and people don't listen to him. He tells Kidman to tell everybody to leave, while Hart stays. I like Hart in this situation because he gives Cranston a much-needed reality check. People are here to celebrate him and give him rich gifts. He yells out in frustration, and Hart goes around the room destroying stuff with Cranston, telling him what to destroy. Cranston feels a lot better and goes on to enjoy his night. So we established that Cranston is kind of lonely. He is surrounded by people, but he only seems to like Hart, Kidman, and a pen pal. Having a disability makes it harder to make friends. It could be even harder for him because he is very rich. He even mentioned that people only talk to him because they want him and his money. He has a pen pal, and they send cards for like a year. Never talk on the phone, or even seen each other's picture. But really, if you meet someone who's interested, the first thing you would do is look them up to see what they look like. He never looks her up, but we all know she did. Hart kind of pressures him to make the call, but really he dials the phone and puts the phone to his ear. Cranston didn't have to say anything, but he did. She calls back and they have a date. Before the date, he's all nervous if he should mention the chair or not, and his situation. Like he doesn't want to scare her and push her away. They never FaceTimed or had a serious talk, except writing letters. There is so much you can write in a letter. He liked the attention and getting love, but he was afraid of the rejection and losing everything. It was also his first relationship since his wife died, and also being a quadriplegic. Hart was a huge motivator in all of this. It was basically, let's see what the relationship can evolve to or fizzle out. Let's either find out and move on. So they are on a date, and she turns out to be beautiful. They are talking, and she seems more and more comfortable as the date goes on. She is slowly realizing how helpless he is. He needs to get fed, and there's a stain on his shirt. He needs somebody to clean it for him. She goes on to say that she done a lot of research, but not what she expected, and it was a lot more than she anticipated. It was basically her giving a sign that this wasn't going to work out, just from a physical standpoint. Then the situation becomes uncomfortable, and he wants to leave. Well, I do want to touch on that this probably happens more often than not. Being with a person with a disability can be daunting, especially mating for the first time. I say give it a try. The big but is that everyone can leave a relationship for whatever reason. It's a two-person system. If she's not comfortable or doesn't want to be in a relationship for whatever reason, then she can leave. It will probably suck for the other person, but you'd rather be in a relationship where both people are happy, right? Why stay in a relationship if that person is not providing you happiness? I guess that night or whatever, Cranston is in a room getting cared for by Hart. He blames Hart for the relationship not working, and he wanted to do the relationship on his terms. I get where he's coming from, but I think it's in every relationship, there's a moment where you have to take a leap to move the relationship forward, to become serious, or is it ended so you guys can move on to different people and things. The result isn't what Cranston wanted, but better to know early in the relationship that it will not work out versus later. The scene ends that Cranston fires Hart for so-called ruining his life. Cranston, or really anybody, doesn't like getting rejected. It hurts a little more with a disability, cause you can't do anything about your disability. I have been in tons of friendly relationships that I know if I was physically normal, I would have been more liked and given a chance, and something more could have come from the relationship. They go separate paths. Hart is doing good deeds in the meantime while Cranston goes on a downward spiral. He barely talks and doesn't want to do anything. His assistant Kidman leaves him too, and basically loses everybody he likes. You can say some were his faults. We don't know why she leaves too. I am guessing for something different. One of his other assistants reaches out to Hart to help him become his normal self again. In this situation, I was debating if Hart should say yes or no, because I feel if a relationship ends for whatever reason, then it should say ended. But it's a case-by-case situation, and personally how you feel in that situation. Anyways, Hart goes back to him as a friend and takes him out. Hart sets up a surprise that he's gonna go paragliding for the first time since his accident. Just because you like this doesn't mean you should stop having fun. He also sets up for him to meet with Kidman, and he's back to his normal self. The movie ends saying that Hart and Cranston remain friends. We don't know if he remained happy or what. I wish we knew more for more closure. That was a whole lot to take in. If you have any other movies I should review, then write it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.